Alright. Can you hear me now?
One day in the future, they gon' understand the moves I made was just a stepping stone to the throne.
Yo, that's dope. It linked me back up with everybody. Can you hear me now?
A strong black family is all I want to see before I die. That's why I try to raise them right, teach them how to fight for all the things that they want out of life and nothing free in this world. So regulate when you have to and try to be humble when all these snakes is out to get you. Protect your sister.
The bar is moving, so I guess we good. All right. Appreciate it. The head did an update, and I guess it changed the settings on me. Appreciate y'all looking out, though.
Believe yourself because the world don't give a fuck about you. Just watch your heart and stay strong because I always love you.
I'm coming. Just give me a second.
That's why I take the good with the bad days.
Bad days.
Knowing that life is gonna
Stress me.
That's why I get my hustle on anyway.
Anyway.
Somebody always gonna test me.
Test me.
That's why I take the good with the bad days.
Bad days.
Knowing that life is gonna stress me.
Stress me.
That's why I get my hustle on anyway.
Anyway.
Somebody always gonna test me. Test me. That's why I take the good with the bad days.
Bad days.
Knowing that life is gonna stress me.
Stress me.
That's why I get my hustle on anyway.
Anyway.
Somebody always gonna test me. Test me. That's why I take the good with the bad days. Bad days. Knowing that life is gonna stress me.
Stress me.
That's why I get my hustle on anyway.
Oh boy, I'm hungry as hell. I need a plan. I need a master plan.
And now we suicide kings. We die a little day for the rent, but we gotta call it time well spent, cause we suicide kings. Whether the cube or the corner, overstand it's all cause I hustle for a suicide king. We die a little day for the rent, but we gotta call it time well spent, cause we suicide kings. Whether the cube or the corner, overstand it's all cause I hustle for a suicide king. I blow tombstones back to back to cope with stress. Be at the office, wishing it was something else. Guess it is, cause in my mind I'm on something else. A natural high, I balance with my lower self. I'm up a lower wealth, came to help from clover steps. That's why I'm lucky I can on the teacher's bed. Learning off life, laughing out loud. Damn, I'm what it means to be young, black, and proud. I die daily for this right to speak, cause when you live and check to check, long term is week to week. And that for the lust of MC, you see that NC tag on that G, dude. No, it's me, dude. Probably lean, probably feeling I'm too cool, but that's my attitude, and it should be yours too. If you don't feel you after what you do, so pay dues that my dude, this ain't for you. Listen confused, we'll just ignore you. We used to, but we do it just with a floor view. They do it just more with a board view than wider altitude. The devil's measured in small moves. We die a little day for the rent, but we gotta call it time well spent, cause we suicide kings. Whether the cube or the corner, overstand it's all cause I hustle for a suicide king. We die a little day for the rent, but we gotta call it time well spent, cause we suicide kings. Whether the cube or the corner, overstand it's all just a hustle for a suicide king.
Once again, it's intelligent thus, sick in the blood. You know the repercussions like some bad drugs.
I'm good, fam. How you doing, baby girl? One day, I'm gonna be on here telling a story about your brother. I'm gonna inbox you though to let you know to watch. R.I.P. Boo Man, aka Marlon Matthews. It's my homie. I could dig it.
Whether the cube or the corner, overstand this all, cause I hustle over suicide king. We die little daily.
Oh, for sure. I got you, man. I got you. We don't need nobody else telling our stories. We can tell our own stories. We got them.
And now we suicide kings. We die little daily for the rent, but we gotta call it time well spent, cause we suicide kings. Whether the cube or the corner, overstand this all, cause I hustle over suicide kings. We die little daily for the rent, but we gotta call it time well spent, cause we suicide kings. Whether the cube or the corner, overstand this all, cause
Man, look. I know, right? We was wild, boy. We was wild before we even knew what wild was. We was just being us. Looking back, though, I wouldn't change a thing, man. I'm almost done, yo. We're going to get this thing cracking in a minute. And having technical difficulties for no good reason at all. I feel like I need to be operating with 2 computers in here or something. Actually, I'm already on. So make that 3. Well, I already am. Make that 4. Oh, man. Yo, I don't feel good, man, but don't be popping that COVID shit to me. Throw my green tea in your face.
Rhythm J Production.
It's going to be almost 70 degrees tomorrow. I'm trying to participate for 3 days straight. I remember being a little kid and having like a little, I guess it was allergies, some type of head cold type shit. And you really couldn't go, you couldn't enjoy the sun. Like, what the hell? When you can't enjoy the sun, man, everybody else outside playing, your head feel all congested, and you know what I mean? On a nice day, that do not feel good. You ever been sick like that in the summer? Or, yeah, it's the worst, man. Peace, who that? All right, I'm about to wrap this up real quick. Oh, man. It's put me to sleep. Something I noticed, I be adding people, right? And I had to think about that. You know, people out here be doing sneaky shit. So they probably ain't even got their notifications on, thinking it's they side nigga or they side chick notifying them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Come on, man. It's the Real Rap Talk podcast. What the fuck is you doing? We knocking on your door, let us in, man. We live. Give you a reason to be on your phone. In a second, it's coming, mama. I'm doing my ads. I had to restart over again because we was having technical difficulties. Why do I wear black? It's my favorite color. Black is my favorite color. Appreciate that, Mr. Haskell. How you doing, sir? That's what's up. R.I.P. La De Niro. Original POI member. Where do I live? I'm all over, my G. Where you from? Ah, that green tea tastes so good. Oh, it's 8:21. All right, we about to get it cracking, man. I want to apologize to everybody for the late start. That was not my intent in no way, shape, form, or fashion. Because I know that we done this, all the restaurants that I like to eat at probably going to be closed. So I'm going to have to throw something together real quick. You from Turkey? Oh, that's what's up. Salute. Tell everybody about the Real Rap Talk podcast in Turkey, my G. That's dope. That's I can't. Definitely shout out to Turkey, man. All right, let's go, man. Peace, everybody. All right, let's get this thing cracking, man. Big Bass, K Anonymous, Real Rap Talk podcast. How's everybody doing today? Now, don't all speak at once. I feel like we're in a classroom and shit. So, today, we're going to have my accountant back on, and you can ask him anything that you want. And hopefully, we learn something. And if we have enough time, we have some Black history that we need to spill. I personally had on a sweatshirt yesterday that said I'm Black every month. I wore it on this show. And
shout out to Miss Speaker.
No doubt. And it was funny to me how people was looking at me. And, I'm like, say something. Don't just look at me, but say something. That's all I wanted. If you had a question about why, I was willing to answer it, but how people just give you dirty looks. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, technically, I shouldn't have to deal with this. You feel me? I shouldn't have to deal with speculation, let alone explaining something to somebody that's already obvious. I think it's corny as hell that we acknowledge Black History Month, period. Black history is every day.
Agree.
Black history is the oldest history there is.
Agree.
Now, there's some knowledge that I don't think I'm going to do it on this episode, but I'm not because it's a good debate to have. All right. It's a very excellent. Well, right. It's facts, but people going to want to debate the facts, but the way I look at it,
facts are facts.
Right. But the way I look at it, one day we need to sit at the table or do it on this platform. I don't care. And we need to have this open discussion about race. Okay? There is no race. Somebody decided to chop people up from different places, and because it's territorial. Okay? It has nothing to do with the truth. And we get caught up in this. Oh, this person it's like gang shit. This person's from over here. This person is from over here. This person is from over here. And then you have a melting pot called America, and they lump everybody into one pot. Why is it okay to have everybody here, but then everybody has to be chopped up from all over? I don't get that. And then everybody is telling different beliefs, and people are fighting wars behind these different beliefs. And who's right? Who's wrong? Because that's all I really care about. That's all you should care about. Who's right? Not who threw the first punch. Who's right? Who's wrong? What's true? What's not true? If you're not questioning for that knowledge, then you're part of the problem. I look at the whole thing like originality is that word for a reason. It means something. Some things don't need to be explained. But there are people who want to go along just to get along. I don't do that. Like, why would you miseducate generations of people and have them living a lie? Just like when you pray, how you know you praying to the right person? How you know your prayers are in the language that you should be praying in? Like, it's all kind of little technical things. And we live in a country where we so fucking petty, man. We ain't gonna never get to the motherfucking truth. We ain't gonna never get to the truth. It's always gonna be something new that's going on that'll distract us, and we over here. It's like little ants and shit. Drop some candy over here, we running over here with that shit. We have to do better to be better, man. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and call my man. It's time to get it cracking. How was your day? I agree.
It's hard work being a boss. Oh, you hear that?
That part. It is hard work being the boss.
It is hard work being a boss, and it's not for everybody.
It definitely isn't for everybody.
And you have to have the drive and motivation. You have to be willing to give up sleep.
A lot.
Food.
All right, I'm placing the card.
Jackson Financial, just Robert.
Peace. How you doing, my brother?
Man, what's going on with you, bro? I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good. You ready for part 2?
I'm always ready. Part 2, part 1, part 3, what it look like.
So let me ask you. I saw your text. So you got some Black history facts for us?
I got a few things pulled up on the computer, bro.
Okay, well, that's dope. Go ahead and jump into that.
Go ahead and jump into that. All right. Well, shit, we're going to start, accounting. Accounting goes way back. I mean, it's just one of those things that we've been doing since the beginning of time. Jesus turned over the accounting tables in the temple because he didn't like them selling and doing the business in his father's house. But as far as Blacks go in accounting history and taxation, we've come a long way in this field, whereas today there is not a lot of Black accountants. Matter of fact, we make up maybe 2% of the industry. Black accountants do today make up maybe 2% of the history. make up 2% of the accounting industry today. But, just to go back, a little bit, a lot of people don't know about Black history and accounting and in taxation. 1921, John Cromwell Jr. was the first Black American certified public accountant. The thing that makes that great, as he was the first, was that he had to go through, man, when we talk today about hurdles and hoops and red tape, for most people, that's just talk. But for us, it's a reality. And what Mr. Cromwell had to go to be a certified public accountant is just in respect of what we as a people have had to go through in life, period. No other way to put it. And back then, for instance, Mr. Cromwell was not allowed. He wasn't allowed to take the bar. In other states, he wasn't allowed to take that. Only way that he could become a CPA was to go to Washington, D.C. They weren't allowed to sit for the exam in Washington, D.C. or in Maryland. So there was a law passed in New Hampshire that didn't require experience. So across the land back then in 1921, for all Americans requiring to be a certified public accountant, you had to also have experience. So not only did you have to take the bar, you had to have experience in accounting. Well, as a Black man, Mr. Cromwell couldn't get that experience in accounting. We couldn't get it. So once the law was passed in 1921 in New Hampshire, they lifted the legislation to disallow the experience requirement. So Mr. Cromwell went to New Hampshire, got his CPA there, and also became a high school teacher there and worked primarily in the Black community. And he was the first Black controller of Howard University.
Oh, that's dope.
An all-Black school.
That's what's up.
Exactly. So, we go on and on. Then there, when we talk about females, Mary Thelma Washington was the first Black American female certified public accountant in 1943. We have the National Association of Black Accountants, which formed in 1968, I do believe it was. So as far as the profession goes, where Blacks stand, we have had a long fight to get where whites are today in this particular industry, whether you have you've passed the bar or you're just an accountant, a certified bookkeeper. There's a difference for all of us, and white America does look at us as being different. Black America looks at us, especially in my profession, doing taxes and stuff. Black America looks at us as a way of getting over on the system sometimes. Yeah, I'm not in the game to get over on the system, baby. But that's the way we're portrayed. Now, it's not as easy for a Black man in this profession as it is for a white man. We got to go through some things. We got to gain trust. And I have been in front of plenty of businesses as a Black man, in front of white businesses, that I'm qualified to do their books, I'm qualified to do their accounting, I'm qualified to do their tax planning, but I see the smile on your face because of my skin color. They don't feel like I'm qualified enough, or I don't have enough of the alphabet soup behind my name to actually know what I'm doing. Which just isn't true. I've been doing this for quite some time. I don't need alphabet soup. And as I've looked at other accountants who are CPAs and EAs and ESAs and all that, bro, when I go over their work, when my clients come in with work that other accountants have done and I see the mistakes, I think about the money I saved. Because I just fixed your mistake and I didn't pay all the money to go to school to make the mistake that you just made. But at the same time, I have the same knowledge. I have the same business. I have the same know-how. It's just that my skin tone is darker, so people don't think I'm as smart.
That's funny that you touch bases on that, but I'm gonna save it for the end of the show. So I wrote something called "Your Blackness Haunts You Like a Ghost," and I personally believe in spiritual connections.
Yes, sir.
Outside of the day-to-day things that we have to deal with in the flesh. Like, I'm deeply spiritual in the way that I don't feel like people who look at me understand, because I don't talk about this out in the open, because technically it ain't nobody else's business. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah, it's like that's not something, that information that I'm going to volunteer. So I don't know where these deities, how they choose and pick who they want to be anointed and gifted and talented per se, but we take it. And if you can get past the whole skin color thing, man, you don't understand. Black people are phenomenal people.
But what you don't understand, and what people, period, don't understand, America's not America without the black man.
Exactly.
America's not America without us. I mean, they have spent so many time keeping us from reading, keeping us from learning, keeping us from rising. They spent so much time doing that. But the whole time we have done nothing but the opposite.
Exactly.
We read, we learn to read, we learn to do everything that they can do, and we rise. Once again, America is built on the blood, sweat, and tears of a black man. Almost every creation, and it's sad they don't teach this in school and we only get 1 month.
Right.
But almost everything done under the sun here in America, man, the black man had a hand in creating that. Open heart surgery, street lights, peanuts. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. The first black man did this and did that, but you let a white man tell it, and we are stupid.
Right.
We didn't do none of that. That's why they're dumbing down our people, man. They dumbing them down in the schools. They dumbing them down in the streets. They're doing everything to dumb down our people. I'm looking at kids' education today, man, and I'm like, boys, they ain't teaching y'all nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, I ask kids a question about history or something that went on back. Kids should know.
Right.
They have no damn clue.
Right.
Not a clue whatsoever, because the schools is not teaching it to them. The system is not teaching this stuff to our kids, man. And if we don't take the time, whether it's accounting and whether it's taxes, no matter what it is in life, if we don't take the time to teach our children, we got to take the time to teach them.
Right.
If we don't take the time to teach them, then guess what? They just gonna grow up. As like you said, we're spiritual as God put it in the Bible. They just gonna grow up on every wind of doctrine, taking whatever and doing whatever, because they don't really know. We didn't take the time to teach them.
Right. Man, look, I know some things. I want to debate with the best of them, because I have questions that I know people ain't gonna be able to answer without even just using your common sense. There's a lot of things that just don't make sense, but yet you believe in these things, which is weird to me. Like, you're not even gonna question it. You feel me? Like, at all. And I hate when a person gets angry because I'm challenging them. I'm like, you should be mad at yourself for not challenging whatever it is that you're believing in.
Exactly.
And then you're going to pass that on to another person and dumb them down. So you're basically doing somebody else's job.
Exactly.
We talk about the Willie Lynch and what's the other Jim Crow shit. Like, okay, I get all of that, but who the hell does that shit apply to? Not me. You feel me? Like, I don't
was at a different time, exactly.
Right. I don't even connect with that. Even Even see, I'm trying not to talk about what I wrote about, and it's hard. I'm trying to dance around that, but I want to ask people, do you think slavery was really necessary? Instead of looking at it as a bad thing because of the stories we heard and things of that nature, I think slavery was necessary. How about you?
You know, for America's sake, slavery was necessary. I mean, without slavery, the inventions that America is sitting on right now, there wouldn't be. Let's just say it like it is. Half of the inventions, like I said earlier, everything going on in America, a black man did it first.
Right.
A black man created this. A black man gave another man the know-how to do this or to do that. Man, we are a spiritual people and a very smart people. Though they tried to keep us dumb,
right,
we manage because we are led by our Creator.
Right.
So no matter what you do to us to keep us down, there's no, and that's why they're so scared of us, man, and why they fight so hard to keep us down. Because that word is true. That word, that I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, we can talk history. We can talk. You know, I don't do the politic thing. You know, so I'm not gonna get too much into that. But when it comes to religion, when it comes to history, I talk about that all day. So let's just go back to the beginning time. In the beginning, God created man from the dust of the ground. That dust had to have a color. Not only did it have to have a color, look at the region for which the Garden of Eden is. Now I'm gonna stop there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. I'll feel you.
That's all I'm gonna say. Because I've done a complete history and a genealogy of our Lord Jesus Christ, something that most white people don't do, or they do and then they ignore it.
Right.
But that picture on the wall that they got ain't true.
Oh, I know. I did my research.
Only because I've done the research of the genealogy.
Right.
Only because I've gone from Matthew all the way back to Genesis and searching out my Savior's genealogy and white, black, Mexican, what is he? What are we? What are we supposed to be? And I found the truth. But they don't want us to know the truth. That's where we are right now when we're talking about black history. Let's just bring it right back around to February. Why niggas only, I'm gonna say it, why niggas only got a month?
Yeah.
We done did so much for America, but they only give us a month. Not only do they only give us a month, every year, 5. Go back and look, people. 5 senseless deaths among Negroes every year. I can count 5 last year, starting with George Floyd. Go ahead, y'all count the other 4.
Right.
Y'all count the other 4.
Right.
This happens every year. And every year we protest and we fight and we march, and every time it happens, nothing changes.
Right.
Nothing's going to change, bro.
Well,
I hate to tell you that and for the people to be listening to me, but as a 51-year-old black man in America that has seen many things, nothing changes.
Well,
no matter how hard we march, Martin Luther King, we had a few changes, but we ain't had enough changes to bring it to the point where the white man sees us as being equal. So we also have to look at it as the same thing in the business realm. I'm never going to be looked at as being equal to another man, a white man beside me. We're going for the same accounting job. I'm never going to be looked at as equal to that white man.
Right. His
knowledge is always going to be what they consider more than mine because he's of the superior race.
Right. Well,
but
go ahead.
I was going to say, because he's of the superior race, but that doesn't excuse the fact that he's going to make mistakes.
Right.
And he doesn't always know all the tax laws.
Right.
But here I am. I got to fight hard for my position. I got to fight hard to get those jobs. So you best damn well know when I step in there next to that white man, I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Because I know I got to fight just a little bit harder than him. I got to know just a little bit more than him.
Right.
But at the end of the day, guess who got the job?
Right. Well,
exactly.
Here's something that I want to share with you and the audience as well. So earlier today, I got to reflecting on my grandfather who worked for General Motors, right? And shout out UAW Local 731. When I was, I want to say 10 or 11, there was a union strike with the United Auto Workers of America. And I went with him to DC for the strike. And they went out and they protested, and I dipped off because I was around everything. I was around the Smithsonian. I was around like all the tourist things that you wanted to see. I dipped off from the march, and I went and seen all the free shit. And when I came back out, I didn't know where I was because the crowd of people had shifted. So I guess they was wrapping up and leaving. So I had to find my way back to where we actually parked the damn bus, bro. And it took about 2 hours for me to find them. And upon finding the bus, it was like almost like 1 or 2 buses left in the parking lot. I could hear my grandfather saying, "We not leaving him because his mama not killing me." Like, and my grandfather like 300 pounds, like 6'4", 6'5", and he's standing up on the bus telling them we ain't leaving. And I come around like the front, and they was like, "There you go, right there." He met me outside and hugged me and told me, "Yo, I wouldn't leave you." Now, I'm just saying that to speak upon our relationship, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I had the best of both worlds because of this man. I grew up poor, but when I was with him, I had money. You understand what I'm saying? It was a different lifestyle with him because he was a proud black man. He had his own nightclub. He also was the first black vice president of the union. So when we start talking about black history, I lived it with this man. So there was an Italian. We talking about some mob shit that was probably not giving up the president spot, but even though he knew, he ran regardless. You feel me? With the hopes of maybe becoming the president of the union. But it didn't take a rocket scientist to understand what was going on, even at that age, that they're not gonna let you get the top spot, bro. Like you made it as far as you're going to make it. They not gonna let you be the first dude. Probably maybe in the 90s, if it would have happened in the 90s or 2000, yeah. But at that particular time, nah, they wasn't. Use it. That was it. You feel me? And but seeing him and still being proud, like having to put on the suit and tie to go to banquets and functions and meet people away from the street life and being poor and all of those things. And this man loved knowledge. He would sit and watch PBS, donate money to the shit. You feel me? Like, you feel me? Like he was that. You're right. Got African connections and statues everywhere, books everywhere. He was very adamant on education, which is why I'm smart than a motherfucker, because he made me read early. Like, I don't like how he set it up because he pit me against my older cousin who couldn't read so well. So it gave me the pride of being a 5-year-old that could read better than my 10-year-old cousin. But it was still effective. That investment that he made paid off. You know what I mean? And just seeing what he had to go through as a black man and being proud and being conscious. Like, there's a lot of people that really don't give a fuck about black history that's black.
Exactly.
That's a bigger problem than us talking about another race. Like, we got black people who ain't even invested into their blackness, which is weird as fuck to me.
Exactly. Very weird. This is why I speak on black business, save a business and save a life. Versus black on black crime. Because when you're doing black on black business, man, you say you care about the black community. I do taxes. Okay, that's what I do. So from January to April, that's a large part of my income in my business.
Right.
So from January to April, I expect to see a lot of my African community come into my office.
Right.
That's not what happens, bro. They would rather go to, and I had a lady tell me one day, she called and she said, what's the difference between you and the H&R Block? And I told her what the differences was. And her words was, well, there's not much of a price difference. I'm going to go ahead and go back to H&R Block. I'm like, okay, Bob.
Wow.
Go ahead.
And she was black?
And she was black.
Wow.
But see, our people don't understand that. They would rather in all the, but to see, the thing is, and this goes all the way back to Africa, and we're talking about black history, and we're talking about slavery and the white man, but this goes all the way back to Africa. The white man the black man don't do business with the black man unless they absolutely have to, because black men don't want to see another black man get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with slavery. Niggas sold niggas in slavery out of greed and not wanting to see the others get ahead. Right. Instead of protecting our people, as soon as that man that was a foreigner stepped foot on that, he never should, what?
Right, right.
He never should have got deep like that if we was a true people.
Right.
If we was a true people. He never should have got deep like that. We never should have been in the hull of ships. We never should have been in no man's field taking a whip. Right. If at the start, we supposed to be such a strong black people, if at the start we hadn't sold ourselves out. Right. That's right. And they don't do the history and look at it. They just think, oh, the white man went over and got us and we were slaves. No, we sold our own damn selves. Exactly. Just like we continuing to do today. Right. So come on, man. This is not all the Caucasians' fault.
Right. Right. I'm glad you said that.
It's not all their fault. We didn't support each other then. We don't support each other now, except for when the George Floyds of the world go down. All of a sudden, now we got black pride. We want to go marching.
Yeah, that's politics, man. That's that culture that wants to be a part of some shit. I look, I don't knock our efforts to try to realistically want change, but at the end of the day, it's like what you said. Y'all do all that fucking marching. It don't change shit because that's not where the power is. Exactly. Like you may feel powerful being like, come on, man. I bold. When I knock the shit out them pins, I feel mighty. Exactly. You feel me? So yeah, you be, but it's just like bowling. When you throw the ball in the motherfucking gutter, you get nothing for that. And all of that protesting is gutter bowling to me.
Thank you.
Right. Right, with the real change is to be a police officer, a lawyer, and be somewhere. Because the way I look at it on some real shit, we need spies. The same way the slave, listen, real talk. I'm just going to put it out there. So we need spies. We need people the same way they needed people to free slaves. You had to have help from the Caucasian race in order to maneuver, because you were black. Like they looked at your skin and identified you with slavery. Even if you were free, they didn't give a fuck. You had to show papers. That's the shit we dealing with now. May I see your identification, sir? It's no fucking different. And even if you was free, they did with you whatever the fuck they wanted to do because you lived in fear. Pay attention to the game, man. You lived in fear. They spread this doctrine that you were what was it? 1/3? What would we consider? 2/3, 1/3, 3/4?
1/3.
Right, 1/3 of to put that stigmatism in somebody's brain. 3/5, whatever the fuck. All right, but to put that in somebody's brain that you just told not to read. That part. Let's just start with ignorance, period. I talked about on the last episode. putting a motherfucking baby in a closet. Leave that baby in a closet for 18 years and then let him out, put clothes on him. What the fuck you think that baby was going to do? That's slavery in a nutshell.
Exactly.
Because you didn't nurture this child. You didn't feed it. Well, you fed it, but you didn't, you know what I mean? It could be all kind of things wrong with this child, but he's here. And then if he has to come out in today's world, do you know that the abuse off the gate of him just being different, looking different, not knowing anything, not even knowing how to properly communicate with people. And that's exactly how it was for our people. We knew how to communicate with each other. That wasn't the problem.
Right.
We couldn't communicate to even really make a mark here. We had to go through all that abusive shit first. So I say that to say this, and somehow I'm going to end up talking about what I want to talk about anyway. So look, I look in the Bible, and one of my favorite sections that from a day that I decided I'm going to start reading the Bible, like really reading it and breaking it down for myself, right? So I get to Leviticus. And this is not a knock against anybody. It's in the fucking Bible. If you want to challenge what I interpreted from it, cool. I'm all for it. So anyway, I get to Leviticus. I can't tell you what chapter, but it's somewhere in the middle of the shit, right? Where it speaks about leprosy. And it speaks about the mountains of Canaan. Okay? Now, I'm no rocket science, but leprosy is when you have a white spot, you are considered diseased and leopard. Right. So I got to thinking. I was like, well, hold up, hold the hell up. If you're a Caucasian, how can they tell if you have a white spot or not? Right. So let's start with that shit. So I got to think, because what I ended up doing was remembering what I learned from every other religion that I was blessed to be around and everybody's interpretation. So I did the math and put the shit together myself. So as I continue reading, what they did was, since you're considered diseased, you had a certain amount of time to be given to heal from this disease. And if you didn't, then they cast your ass away from the people. Okay? So now we're talking about, okay, so if you're spotted and there's no white people here, the leprosy, the revitiligo, what Michael, like, this shit is so deep, bro. What Michael Jackson had. So I'm like, oh, or say he had. But anyway, so I'm like, okay. So you're telling me that there is a disease that fucks with your melatonin in your shit, and it doesn't activate. So you just stay white. So now I'm doing the math. I'm like, okay, so you cast everybody away to the Canaanites mountain, the Caucasus Mountains, all right? And you call them Canaanites. And now I'm listening to all the terminology of the words that I've heard, Cro-Magnon and Neanderthals and all of this shit. I'm like, all right, I'm interested in time periods. That's my thing. Like the Dark Ages is my favorite, but we'll get into that later. So you're casting these people out. And I compare it to aborting a child or giving a child up for adoption, right? What's going to happen? You see that you've been casted away, just like they do black people. Peep game. It's the same thing in reverse. So you went off and you created a whole race of people from this who lived in horrible conditions. The cold mountains, no food, no farming, none of the things that they can see is happening in whatever village this is happening at. All right, they can't participate in none of that. So what do you get? Anger, hatred, animosity, pain. Does this sound familiar to everybody? It's the same fucking thing in reverse. So what I said was, maybe, just maybe, we do need to apologize. Not them apologizing to us first. Maybe we need to apologize to them first. Does that make sense to you?
That don't make sense to me. Why am I apologizing to them?
Because listen to what I'm saying. You can't say we're being treated this way when we did it to them first. Right? We did it. Whatever they're doing to us now, we already did to their ass. That's why.
Are we speaking in terms of slavery? What are we speaking in terms of?
Right, the beginnings.
Okay.
I know it sounds tricky, but it makes perfect sense.
Well, I know you're talking about Leviticus chapter 13 and 14 with the leprosy and you're banished to the mountains because of uncleanness. When that disease doesn't go away, now we need to banish you. That's what they did. When the disease itself didn't go away, then they banished them from the camp, or they banished them, period. To, you know, like you said, to Mount Canaan. That's where they banished them to. So same thing now. When we as a people are not as smart as we are supposed to be, I'm just going to bring it back to today. When we're not as smart as we're supposed to be, white, black, whatever, we're not smart. We're black. We're not smart as we're supposed to be. Then we have a form of leprosy. We have a form of this disease. This person does, because you didn't take the opportunity to cleanse your mind of the BS that society is feeding it. So you are a leper. You are a blighty. So yeah, you feel in a sense you are banished, but it's your fault. Like you said, it's your fault, because there's all these books out here, regardless of whether they're giving it to our kids in school or not. There's all these books out here. There's all these elders out here. I'm an elder.
Right.
You're an elder.
Right.
We should be teaching these young folks, and we should be teaching them our ways, the way our people taught us, the way our mother and father, the way our grandparents, the way our great-great-grandparents, the way their parents taught us.
Right.
These kids today, brother, aren't getting the same teaching. So yeah, guess what? They are sort of like those that had leprosy. They're not getting the teaching versus those that are getting the teaching.
Right.
Now, it's 50-50. There's those that's getting it. There's those that's not. Those that aren't are the lepers.
Right.
Those are the ones that's going to be cast out and banned because you're not smart enough to do what we can do.
Now,
but guess what?
Go ahead.
You had the same opportunity to learn to do what we can do.
Right. Now,
you don't have to. Go ahead.
Are you familiar with Yoruba?
Yoruba in the Bible or in the
some people call it Yoruba.
Right, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Before we came here, when we were being sold, Yoruba was our natural religion.
Right.
It's from it is in Nigeria. And hold up. Let me get my facts straight. So for whatever reason, I woke up, I didn't sleep good. I woke up and I started looking up, I think Thor, like, you know how you be flicking through to what you're going to watch to fall asleep to. So I seen Thor. And I've seen them, all the Thors, all the Captain Marvels, but then I got to thinking about something. I said, well, hold up. Thor is kind of like what Shango was for Yoruba. So I looked up, I bullshit you not, I typed in Shango versus Thor. And come to find out, they're the same fucking person. They just made him white like they did Jesus.
Exactly.
So look. So now I'm like, yo, my wheels is spinning. I ain't going back to sleep yet. So now I'm like, hold up. So I looked up, well, who invented this deity Thor? The Greeks. Then I got to thinking, hold up, didn't they say the Greeks took all the knowledge and burned books and rewrote history?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now here's what I have for the people who don't know why Yoruba. I've had this conversation with some friends and they kind of looked at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, bruh, you really don't get it. So, and this is not a knock toward Christianity, but I'm going to speak on this. So, Shango versus Thor. This will never happen because they are the same person. The Greeks, aka thieves of knowledge, changed the complexion of the deity. The Orishas are the native gods of the Yoruba people. There are 7 gods, 7 being a righteous number. Shango's favorite color was red. In today's time, that will make him a blood. That's a little humor. Shango ruled for 7 years, also the god's number. The god Shango was also resurrected in the Santeria culture. There's a book called Yoruba, Origins and the Lost Tribes of Israel. During the 18th and 19th centuries, thousands of Yoruba people were transported to America as slaves. Now watch this shit. In some locations in the Caribbean and South America, African slaves and their descendants were able to reestablish Shango's worship. This is where the term voodoo comes from. It originated in Haiti. So when a man or woman says they want to connect with you on a spiritual level, be careful which spirits you seek and pray for. In 1685, France banned any practicing of African religions. Slaves had to be converted within 8 days of their arrival by baptism. So when people start talking about knowledge of self and they don't know where to go, it ain't been that fucking long that you didn't have knowledge of self. That's the beautiful part of it. Meaning there's still what I was told by a Yoruba priest. A Yoruba priest told me this. He said, the slaves kept the shit alive. This is where some of those songs and chants come from.
Right.
This is how they kept passing it down to the young during slavery to survive the shit. Just in case we spoke a native dialect, not this English shit.
Right.
We spoke a different dialect. Okay? But this is not a secret. Because let me tell you what I experienced being around this Yoruba priest for the time that I had him in my life. I saw rich white people coming to get readings. Okay? Meaning these people were intelligent enough to accept the motherfucking truth, and they paid for it with money.
Yep.
Feel me on this. I watched them come and pay willingly because they knew this is the truth. Y'all, this was here before we had this shit. So I try not to get into debates with Christians. And I don't knock the Bible. It's math in the Bible, so I respect it. I try to tell people I don't claim no religions. If they say math never lies, then math is my religion. Okay? Because I want to be right. I don't want to be misled, misguided. I don't want to claim one thing and then when it's time for me to meet my maker, I pick the wrong shit. I'm not taking I'm not taking them chances. If I get wings with Bluetooth and whatever paradise shit is in the afterlife, whatever, if it even exists, I'm not fucking that up for nobody.
Right.
Okay? But if math never lies and math is the truth, then math is my motherfucking religion. Everything else is secondary to me.
You know, I could roll on that. We can go deep in discussion on some things about religion. I'm a Christian. I'm Seventh-day Adventist. I keep the Seventh-day Sabbath. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm a black man in America. I serve a risen Savior. I mean, all the above. I'm a deacon in church. I'm a men's ministry leader. I mean, I'm on the finance team at church. I mean, we can go on and debate that thing forever.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's just one, one debate, but we're not gonna do that on this particular episode.
All right.
On another one, and we'll debate it.
No doubt.
We're gonna be on another episode and we'll debate it.
No doubt.
Don't get me wrong, but you're right though. When we look at history and though you were speaking on Bible or whatever, that's cool, but you gave a great example. You compare Shango to Thor, who's white, Shango, of course, being black.
Right.
And we compare our Savior. Well, wait a minute. Actually, we don't have nothing or no one to compare our Savior to. We have to go on the facts.
Right.
Like I said, I studied his genealogy. So we have to go on the facts of our Savior because we don't have nothing to compare him to. But when we look at history and we think about, like you just said, comparing Thor to Shango, and that's not the only example.
Right.
They have taken almost they've taken everything black and made it white.
Yeah.
Everything, all our creations, all, music, man. I mean, so much they have taken from, but the one thing that they've taken finances from us. The one thing I want to ask you: do you know about the black tax?
I've heard of it, but no.
Okay, there's two definitions of the black tax. First definition: we don't carry it all here in America. We need to. Then we would know a definition of taking care of our family and our people.
Right. Black
tax. First definition of black tax. If you Google black tax, you'll learn that it's a tradition in Africa that families, when the men work, they money back to the families to take care of the family. Black tax, that's African history. Look it up. Black tax in America, poverty, underachieving, lower finances. See the difference? Black tax in our homeland, black tax in our I don't know what to put. Man, I'm an alien here, so I can't really.
Right. I'll feel you though.
Whether I'm in Africa or I'm in America, I'm an alien. That's all I'm gonna put. That's how I'm gonna say it. Once again, it goes way back. It's a religion thing that one day maybe we'll have a show. We'll debate that. When I say I'm an alien, God tells us straight up, we're not from here.
Right.
We are a peculiar people that He created to worship Him. And I mean, dude. When it comes to religion and studying some things, I could trip some folks out, including you. I mean, God mentions worlds in the Bible. God says terrestrial in the Bible. So if you're reading this thing and you know God, then you got to know that we're not alone in the world, bro. It's in the Bible. We're not His only creation.
Pyramids like that.
But people don't pay. I'm sorry, what she said?
Who are you talking to?
That Egyptians had spaceships and aliens and stuff in the pyramids.
Right.
Exactly. So I mean, but if I sit and have a normal conversation with a so-called theologist, this is an argument, bro.
Right. All day.
This is a for real argument. There's no other God to do. Dude, we are low on God's creation totem pole.
Yeah, but look though, but look though, this is why I try not to do it publicly.
Right, because when you stand though, brother, that's why I say it's a debate for us to have for another day. Because I believe, and I believe on a whole different plateau than most men believe, because I go from Genesis to Revelation, and then I look at all the other books, the Maccabees, the first book of I got the Sefer.
Right.
So I read all those books. I mean, I like history. I like religion. I like my Lord. I like to see where we came from as a people, how we were suppressed. Did we suppress ourselves? Did we allow us to be suppressed? Was this something that was supposed to happen?
Right,
That
right.
was supposed to happen too. We allowed it.
Right, right.
One, it was supposed to happen. Two, we allowed it.
What trips me out though is, I don't know, the people who were supposed to educate us and let us know that there is another way, or even if they just had an inkling that there's another way, but they were afraid to do it. I'm quite sure in our history during this time that there's a lot of shit that they don't want to talk about, because I know you just don't come off and chop motherfuckers' legs off and whip them, because just the barbaric nature of being associated with the act is more criminal than anything we have ever seen in today's time.
It is, but this did not just go on in America. This went on in Spain.
Right.
It also went on in Africa.
Right.
It went on in other countries among other people as well. But okay, hold on. Here's a question.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna ask the question. Then I'm gonna let you see who responds to the question and give the answers.
All right.
Slavery. When slaves was taken, when our people was taken out of Africa, what country received the most of those slaves? What country? That's the question. When slavery, in the beginning, when we're talking about slavery, what country received the most? Now we're gonna give them a few seconds to see who got an answer for that question.
Who knows the answer to the question? What'd you say, Ma?
South America.
South America?
I like that. Puerto Rico is in South America. Why do you think that there are so many Spaniards that is darn near black?
Mm-hmm.
They speak Spanish. They don't know a word of English, but boy, you black. You a Negro. Why? Because not all the slaves was first brought to America.
Correct. The transatlantic slave trade, yes.
Exactly. Slave trade actually started, like you said, the transatlantic trade. It had nothing to do with America.
Right.
America was secondary or third.
Or last, if anything. Right.
Right. But it wasn't first. Actually, it started in South America, the transatlantic slave trade. In countries like Puerto Rico and Argentina, them countries,
right,
they received the most slaves. That's why to this day, we go over there, we think we just stepped into Africa or in America because they black.
Right, right.
Over in Puerto Rico.
Right.
They black.
Right. You can see how they treating the people in Haiti and Puerto Rico today.
Exactly.
From all the hurricanes and shit.
It's the same thing everywhere. It doesn't matter what language you speak. If you black, you a nigga.
Exactly. And that's what.
It doesn't matter the language you speak.
But see, that's how arrogant we've become. We're arrogant off of our own ignorance.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Oh shit, man! We need our asses whooped.
For real.
Arrogance from our own ignorance, man. Like, goddamn, you can't do both.
You can't do both.
Hey, Real Man Talk podcast, man. Shit.
But once again, and it just comes back to, like I said in the beginning, why do we only have a month to discuss what black folk have done in America? Why do we only have that 1 month to figure out how to educate our young people that's not getting it in school? Oh, we're going to take 28 days to make y'all smart on black history.
Right. Because it's a whisper.
It don't matter. Black history is every day.
Exactly.
Black history is every day. Every day, somebody black is doing something great. Every day, somebody black is making history.
Exactly.
Every day, somebody black is being shut out.
Exactly. Coach of freedom.
Europeans.
Coach of freedom, man.
Agreed.
Come on, man. I mean, we got to get back to educating our people. We got to get back to supporting our people. I mean, like I said earlier, black on black business saves businesses and lives.
Right, right.
Black on black crime destroys every damn thing.
Exactly.
Come on, man. If you want to get over on the people, start supporting your people.
Right.
You want to get over on the people, get smarter than the people.
Right.
Because the marching and the standing in front of the courthouses a million strong ain't getting it done. They laughing. They're like, man, they took the energy to march for miles and we ain't finna change nothing. I'm
going to tell you what that reminds me of. Being from the hood, being from the projects and shit. You could be minding your own business. You could be in your house watching TV or some shit. Outside, you hear a commotion. Now, this is the difference between us and other coaches. We'll hear the commotion. We'll go outside. Now, it's a whole group of people trying to figure out what the hell is going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see some ignorant shit about to happen. And some people might try to stop it, but there's a mob of people around you that wants to see the ignorant shit happen. So you don't want to get caught up and now they turn on you.
Right. Because you stop their entertainment.
Right. So I've seen it firsthand, the animalistic nature that we done adopted, this bullshit way of being, way of living, way of accepting the conditions that have been bestowed upon us for us to act that way. Because if you're poor, if you're disenfranchised, if your mind and your will is not strong, you will remain at the bottom just like a scavenger. And you will be doing animalistic, barbaric shit, destroying shit. There's nothing positive to come out of that. Now, here's what people don't understand. We're not the only race that does this shit. There are poor white people inventing motherfucking methamphetamines and shit in the lab. Like, come on, man. And this ain't just a dart being thrown at them. I've seen this dysfunction in all the races.
Exactly.
At the bottom. Okay?
Exactly.
But nobody talks about. Matter of fact, here's one I need somebody to answer for me, goddammit. Where the fuck do all these Chinese people be hiding at? How come look, and this ain't even no racist shit. I'm just curious. You see a motherfucker in a Chinese restaurant all day long. I might see him in the grocery store, at the mall. Right. Where the fuck they congregate at? Where the fuck is the Asian church or I don't get it. They here. Where the fuck they shit at?
They stay among themselves as a people. Now let's talk. We're gonna stay on this dysfunction thing.
Okay.
We're gonna stay on that, and I'm gonna put it in layman's terms that every human can understand, especially black males.
Right.
I'm gonna just break it down. Okay. We got 5 corners. These corners are separated by 4 blocks. So we got 5 corners, 20 blocks. On each corner, we got a dealer. 5 corners, 5 dealers, 20 blocks. You with me?
Right.
All right. So of these 5 corners and the 20 blocks, there is a potential. Once again, this is just an example.
Mm-hmm.
There's a potential of $100,000 to be made. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we got 5 corners, 5 dealers, 20 blocks. So each corner, each dealer can make $20,000, correct?
Right.
Okay. So this is the problem with our people. You got a corner. There's 4 blocks between you and your girl who has a corner. There's 4 blocks between her and your son who has a corner. So now there's 12 blocks between your son and you, right? Okay. We got 3 dealers, 12 blocks. Now I'm on another corner. So we got our 4th corner and another 4 blocks. And I got my daughter on another corner and another 4 blocks separating us. Each one of us is pulling 20 grand. Happily pulling 20 grand. But my man Alan on corner number 1 decides one day that his 20 grand isn't good enough. So Alan's not going to knock off his wife. He's not going to knock off his son. Alan's going to look at me or my daughter to knock off to gain an extra 20. So now Alan's making 40 grand.
Go, Alan.
Right, go, Alan. So, I'm making 40 grand, his wife is making 20, son making 20, and my daughter's still on her corner, luckily making her 20 grand. So now Alan, instead of having 4 blocks, now Alan has 8 blocks, but Alan has 4 blocks on his side and has another 4 blocks on the other side of his wife and son.
Right.
Okay. Alan's making 40 grand. But once again, Alan's not happy with his 40 grand because there's still potential to be made. So once again, instead of taking from his son or his wife, Alan jumps all the way over here to my daughter and knocks her out the picture. So now Alan has picked up another 4 blocks and another 20 grand. So now Alan's making 60 grand. And he has his 4 blocks. In between his 4 blocks and my 4 blocks and daughter's 4 blocks, which is now Alan's 8 blocks, is 8 blocks that belongs to Alan's wife and son. But Alan's still pulling 60 grand and has gained another 8 blocks. But Alan's now thinking, wait a minute, I took over those 2 blocks. I'm still not getting enough cash.
Right.
One of these other blocks has got to go. So Alan loves his wife, so he's not going to knock her off. But son, you got to go. I got to have your corner in your 4 blocks.
Damn, son.
Alan ain't going there. So now Alan is making 80 grand.
Greedy ass nigga.
He's making 80 grand, got 16 blocks, and Alan's not any happier. He thought that if he gained another 12 blocks and another 40 grand, he would be happy, but he's not.
Right.
So what's going to make Alan happy? I tell you what, I want all of it. So now, wifey, you got to go. I love you, baby, but you got to go. So now, Alan controls everything. Alan has all 5 corners. Alan has all 20 blocks. And Alan is pulling all 20 grand right now. Alan.
Mm-hmm.
In history, when we go back and look at history, black man performed the first brain surgery. White man says he did it.
Right.
Black man created traffic lights. White man says he did it.
Right.
Black man did this, black man did that, black man did this, black man did that. But everything that the black man did, white man says, I did it. And the only way that any man black is going to know about it is to learn about it in 28 days out of the year.
Right.
So, Alan is now pulling 100 grand. Done knocked everybody off. It's just Alan. So Alan's got 100 grand. Alan's got 5 corners. Alan's got 20 blocks. What does Robert got? What does Robert's daughter got? What does Alan's wife got? What does Alan's son got? Now that Alan has took over everything, what does any of us have?
Not a damn thing.
Let's flip that whole thing around. 5 blocks, 5 corners, 5 views. 20 blocks. Dang, my computer just shut down. If you lose me, I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Battery, and I was getting ready to plug it up. Where was I? Oh, flipping it all around. So, Alan has a corner, his wife got a corner, his son got a corner, I got a corner, my daughter has a corner. Everybody's making loot. We get Jack, who wants to grab a corner. Jack comes in, and Jack starts with Alan. Look, Alan, I like your corner, I like your business, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to give you 25 for your corner. Alan was happy with his corner until he was offered an extra $5,000, and now Alan's like, well, heck, I don't want to go beat none of the other 4 guys out of their loot to get their money. So guess what? Here, Jack, go ahead and have my corner, bro. 25, I'm cool. I'm out the game. That's what I want. I'm out the game. So you made $5,000 to get out the game. So Jack now has your corner for 5 G's. So now Jack's looking at the other 4 corners. If Alan sold his corner out for $5,000, will the other corner sell out for $5,000 or for less? Guess what? The other corner is going to sell out for less. Because Jack's persuasion is so tough.
Right.
And the other 4 corners don't recognize his jargon and his language, that they don't have no choice but to sell out for less.
Right.
You see, Alan had corner number 1, and Alan set this whole thing up. See, I didn't tell you that at the beginning, did I?
Right.
Alan set this whole thing up. So when Alan decides to sell, everybody else is going to sell too. Because Jack conned Alan out of his corner for 5 G's.
Right.
Now Jack is going to get the other 4 corners for less than 20 grand. So now Jack's 100 grand now can possibly become 2 because he got everything for less.
Right.
And Jack knows how to use his mouthpiece.
Right.
That's what it comes down to, mouthpiece. Jack knows how to use that. So when the white man steps foot on the African land and the black man wasn't strong enough to stop him right then, as soon as he stormed the beach in Normandy, as soon as we stepped foot on the beaches, they fired upon us. We lost hundreds of soldiers on that beach as soon as we touched the beach.
Yeah. Some ain't even get to touch the beach. They died in the water.
Touch the beach. Exactly. So how come the same thing didn't happen in Africa when the white man showed up? Here's a foreigner coming into our land. We don't know what he want, what he doing. No, they let him waltz on in there out of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's this? Oh, boy, what's he? And when he showed them, boy, they was amazed. They couldn't do nothing but bite. He got them.
Right.
He got them. So it all comes down to this. In our minds, we strong. But when it comes to the physical, we lay down.
Yeah, we don't have the numbers.
In our minds, we strong as heck. We can march. We can put this together and put that together and march and think we're making change and having some effect and this, and that. And Black Lives Matter. Don't get me started on Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Damn lives. Don't get me started.
Yeah,
on
don't.
That was just a stupid slogan to begin with.
Right.
If a Black life matter, then why are you out here taking a Black
Right.
life? Real talk.
Somebody
you didn't have nothing. Oh, we done got on another subject.
Yeah. I'm trying to stop you. Don't.
We done been there. You ain't had nothing to do with that brick that the white man put in the street. But you want to die. You want to kill another brother over Crenshaw and Grape Street and this and Kansas Street and this. You want to kill another brother over a street and you didn't have nothing to do with building that street or putting a house on that street. And as soon as the white man get a chance, he's going to kick you off that street.
Exactly.
But you want to go around here killing our people, and then you want to at the same time holler Black Lives Matter.
You know what that
stupid can we be?
You know what that analogy is to me, man. It's almost like if you give a rat, you got a choice on what you want to catch the rat with. You either gonna use cheese or you gonna use peanut butter. Okay?
I prefer livers.
Eat our oil, but
right.
the goal is to not sit there and wait for the rat to show up.
Right.
Because he's too smart. he knows you're there. He can smell you.
Mm-hmm.
So the game plan is to set the trap for the rat and just pray that the rat takes the trap. Mission accomplished. It's the oldest trick in the book when it comes to us. Yet motherfuckers still love taking the motherfucking peanut butter and the cheese.
Because they have instilled in us that all we're worth is the peanut butter and the cheese.
Right.
That's what they have told us. That's what they have taught us. That's what they have showed us. That's what they continue to show us.
Right.
We're only worth the peanut butter and the cheese.
Right.
And guess what? As long as we out here doing their bidding, once again, I'm gonna call it like I call it. You know, I'm a businessman, and it's not enough blacks in my profession. Like I said in the beginning, it's only 2% that make up the of blacks that make up the accounting profession. There's one association for accountants called the National Association of Black Accountants. If you're an accountant or you're in this profession and you belong to any other membership of accounting, get out.
Right.
Once again, support our people.
Right.
Don't talk about our people. Support our people. But I mean, we got to get this thing back to where it's not just talk. We're actually doing for one another. When I say I have a ministry and I go out in the street and I help people, that's what I do. I don't just say it because I want you to think highly of me, bro. I got clothes, stuff is donated to me, and when I'm not in my office, I'm in the street giving those clothes to the homeless. I'm out there with water. I'm out there talking to them. Right now, I'm also doing pro bono tax returns for folks that have been hit by disasters.
Right.
I put my information up in the chat. Anybody that's dealing with a disaster right now, if you still need to file a tax return, I'm doing those pro bono right now. But don't try to get over on me. I'm telling y'all, don't try. I didn't have that.
Right.
I will not let nobody get over on me. Black, white, purple, blue, whatever.
Right.
Don't try to get over on me.
Well, I salute you for that, my G.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And once again, it's not to be saluted or thought highly of. It comes back to helping people, loving people, black, white, Indian, it don't matter.
Humanity.
Humanity, right? Because guess what? It comes down to we've been talking Bible stuff and what's going. Let's just look at it like this. God created man from the dust of the earth. Right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, how many races did he create?
One.
We're the human race, so how can there be racism?
Exactly.
If you hate me, you hate yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's one race.
Exactly.
God created one race.
That's why I tell people racism don't have no power. It's all in your head, man.
It just shows how ignorant you are. Racism is a form of ignorance.
It definitely.
Black on white racism, white on black racism. It's a form of ignorance.
Yeah, definitely.
God created the human race. He didn't create the white race. He didn't create the black race. He didn't create Chinese race. He put his hands in the dirt and he made the human race.
Yeah.
And then when he reached into man after putting him to sleep and pulled out that rib, he created one man. He didn't create another race. So therefore, we're all still a part of the human race which God created.
Right.
Let's just keep it real, people. Racism is a form of ignorance, because if you hate a certain race, then you got to hate yourself, because God only created one race. Well, He didn't create white, black, brown, whatever. We know where the people was that He created. We know that region. I've done the genealogy. I've done the study. Dirt did not come white in that region.
Right.
Whether you like it or not, folks, dirt didn't come white in that region.
Right.
And God only created one race.
Where the hell is white dirt? What does white dirt look like?
Man, I've only seen it in a picture in the Virgin Islands in the Bahamas.
Shit. And we know it ain't start there. That's what white sand is considered white dirt? Okay.
Other than that, man, I mean, we've got to get back, when we're talking about history, black history, we just have to understand history, period, man.
Right, right.
We we have to know our history as a race, not history as a people, but we need to know our history as a race.
Hey yo,
we're one race.
Here's something people don't think about. We've been experimented on for a long time, meaning
still experimenting on us.
Right. So
vaccine.
Right, but what I'm trying to get people to understand, it's like building blocks. They did this test. They grabbed a group of students in black and asked them questions, and you had to answer those questions exactly how they wanted you to, whether you knew or not. But it was to see if you were programmed properly.
Right.
They don't think about that shit. They don't have no knowledge of this shit. Okay? And this is before I even started going to school. I understood if it's a discrepancy and it don't make sense, I was always that person in class. I'm going to disrupt the teacher. It got to make sense to me. So if my intelligent mind is telling me, hold up, I'm not about to write no whole motherfucking page on some shit. What? Answer me this question. And you know, I used to get on my teacher's nerves, man, because look, you gonna give me this shit, you gonna feed me this shit. It has to make sense. And some of that shit in history and other classes didn't make no damn sense to me. But I was told to go along with the curriculum. So rather than just be the type of questionable person that I was, I went along with it. But then I was like, okay, I'm going to do my work. I'm going to get my grades, but I'm not going to invest full energy into this shit like it's an investment.
Right.
And a lot of people who drop out of school, they figure I'm not going to make this investment. They're giving us it's a nigga on the street corner selling crack. I'll invest my time into that because at least with that, I can see something.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying, that lifestyle was an experiment. The people, we ain't have fucking money that goddamn long.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me? Look, there were certain prominent people who had it. Okay? Not all. It was not common to be caked up. All right? I need people to understand this shit. I saw it for myself. There were only a certain amount of well-to-do black folks. And they even had problems moving out of the hood to where the white folks live at because they didn't even want them there.
Exactly.
So people don't understand us having money is probably about 50 years in the game right now. If even that long. If even that long. So you have to really look at the 80s and Reaganomics. Because you have to think about what we went through in the 70s with this country. We had the gas shortage. Motherfuckers was broke and poor in the fucking 70s, man.
Well, not just the 70s, but in the 80s as well. And even coming into the 90s. But starting 2000. But we have to also look. I'm sorry, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
What I'm getting at is the drugs. Selling fucking drugs has its pros and its cons. And this is why I don't like dudes who rap about the pros and don't really speak about the cons.
Well, growing up, we know the cons.
Right.
We you know, bad and good is instilled in all of us.
Exactly.
So we know the cons. The pros, we know the pros, but they shouldn't highlight the pros in a way that causes our children, a younger generation, to aspire to be like them.
Right.
Because it has nothing to do with real life when that child can't rap and all he can do is go on the corner and sell some crap.
Right.
So, I was a drug dealer. I sold crack I sold marijuana. I sold acid. I sold women. I sold this. I sold that. I did all kinds of things. Now, I'm not glorifying that, but we're talking real talk. And Reaganomics, as you put it, I love it. Reaganomics.
Right.
Okay. So I did all of those things, but I didn't have to. I didn't have to. My mom took good care of me and my brother. She was a single parent. She worked 2 jobs. I worked at full time. I started working at 14 and I started selling at 16. I didn't have to sell. I didn't have to bang. I didn't have to do it. For me, it was a choice.
Right.
For me, it was a choice.
Lil Raheem.
I like that life. Now we're talking about Reaganomics and money, because you're right. That's where we're going. I liked it, that life. I like the fact that I could go sell in a day, man. We say I could move 2 ounces at that time, man. We was popping $40 a quarter down here where I'm at.
Right.
So 2 ounces, man, I'm pulling 320 easily all day long.
Right.
On weed all day.
Right.
On 2 ounces. You know, now you can get a quarter pound for what, 170, 200?
Right.
Well, I was making big money then.
Right.
But I've maintained a job the whole time. So I'm hustling and I'm working. I like money. These youngsters today, they like money.
Right.
The difference between me hustling and I didn't have to, and I worked, and youngsters today hustling, they feel today as if they have to. They don't have a choice.
Right.
No matter where they come from, every one of them that you catch them, they'll tell you, oh, I ain't got a choice. Oh, society makes me do this. Oh, because of the man, I got to do this. Oh, I can't get a job. And say, no, this ain't true. If you choose to do it, that was a choice that you made.
Right.
I don't care if you were in Compton.
That's that's how the court see it.
England. I don't care. If you do it, you chose to do it. Because at the same time, I hear all the stories of the Larry Birds, the Michael Johnsons, and the Powells, William Powell, that made it out of the ghetto from the same situations that a lot of our young people face today that have made it. So they feel today like they don't have a choice, but you do. It's what you want to do.
Right.
Like I said, I didn't have to hustle. I like the money.
Right.
And that's what youngsters look at today. They don't have to. They like the money.
Right.
And those that say they have to, nah, you lazy.
Right.
You'd rather go chase $1,000 a day selling drugs than go chase $80 a day working a legit job. There's a difference, brother. I done look at it both ways. $80, 8 hours, $1,000, 4 hours.
Right.
Dude.
Right. Right.
But, you know, at some point in time, you got to be smart enough, like I said, to weigh the pros and the cons. The pros is I can get money quick. I can have fancy whips. I can have any chick I want to. I can have this house, that, and that. That's the pro. But the con is the hater, the police,
snitches, all that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The cons outweigh the pro.
Damn sure do.
Because as you're living the pro life, getting fast money, getting the cars, getting the houses, you're looking over your back, worried about your homie who's supposed to be your right-hand man. He's looking for the jack.
Right.
You're not feeding him enough.
And
he ain't as good as you.
And
he's looking for the jack.
Yeah, and he figured, why I got to go out here and hustle when I know who got it.
Exactly.
It's easier for me to. It's easier for me to rob you because you did all the work. Hey, I'm gonna get since we on that, right? So look, we used to be on a corner and it'll be a straight dude. I don't know where the fuck he come from, but he's across the street. He wants to make money, so we'll shut the block down. We'll send customers to him. Then he go right like we ain't taking the risk today, so fuck it. We're going to let you make all the money today. But guess what, my nigga? We not going to let you leave. Before your ride come or before you try to dip off, before you get in a cab, we are going to fucking rob you.
Exactly. Now, bring it all back around. Once again, this is what's been instilled in us since the beginning of time. This is how we got to treat one another. This is how we got to treat others, because it's been instilled in us. It's been bred in us. White man took real good care of what he taught us. That's all bad. And he also took real good care in what he didn't teach us, which was all good.
Right.
So we as a people, you know, don't get me wrong. Anybody listening, yeah, I say white man. I'm not prejudiced. I can say European. I can say Caucasian. Whatever. White man. That's just where. That's just words is what we use.
Right.
We as a people have taken what the white man has given us, and we devour it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what we actually know. It's what that man tells us is what we go with.
Right.
Bottom line, it doesn't matter what we know. Whatever he says is what we go with.
Right.
Like right now, let's just take this pandemic, for instance. I got a brother that works in the hospital. So every time they come on the news and say that the hospitals is full and the hospitals is overrun with pandemic victims, and oh, we just went from 10 to 35 sick, and we just went from 2 dead to 35 dead, and oh, we just got national numbers.
Hey, hold up. I like where you going. Don't do it. Hey, look. You don't even have to say no more. Because if they not smart enough to get it, then fuck them.
Exactly. And that's why I say, whatever the man tells us, that's what we run with.
The reason why I don't want you to touch bases on that, because they are watching. Just listen to me. I've seen them do this shit to me. They're watching. So if we say something that they deem not true, nobody will see this fucking video. That's why I'm saying, don't say no more. I got you. They should have you too. They should have filled in the blanks just off of what you said. So let's go. Look. Okay. We're gonna do this again. Let's go ahead and end this show.
I'm with you. So once again, our people, we are dumbed down and we allow it to happen. If we took on more professions and service industries, accounting. Accounting is a dead industry right now among our people. Actually, it's a dead industry among young people, period. Nobody wants to get into taxes and accounting and numbers.
Right.
It's to them it's boring.
Yeah, kids say they hate math, but math is everywhere.
Exactly. But math makes the world go
exactly.
round. Without math, the world can't go round. Without math, you can't count your money right.
Right.
Without math, you're going to give somebody the wrong change. And I've seen
all
it happen, bro. I've seen it happen. As a matter of fact, I've been on the receiving end of a brother that I didn't give a $20 bill to, and he counted me back out of it.
Right.
Or they can't count, so they got to turn around and ask somebody, can you get this change for? Come on, man.
Yeah.
This is what America is doing to our people, and we allow it.
Right.
We are allowing it.
Yeah, so, it's a lot of rich, uneducated people out there, man.
Man, nothing but. So we as a people, we got to get back into the things and the professions where we can be leaders.
Right.
Taxation,
facts. Big facts.
Taxation, financials. And I keep repeating financial and taxation because these are the areas that's hitting our neighborhoods the hardest.
Right.
And we don't understand that.
Right.
What they're doing up in the legislature with the tax laws and how every district is affected. Once again, I just mentioned that black tax, and people don't understand. We're paying the tax. We're black and paying the tax that we have no idea that we're paying.
Right.
So many people have I understand because of my position, you know, in doing accounting and stuff. So I understand the black tax law.
Right.
But so many people don't understand.
Hey.
If they're black in America, not only are you being taxed, you're being taxed for being black. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
taxed for being black in America.
Hey. So look, because I have a question I'm going to ask you the next time we do this, feeding off of that what you just said. So we're gonna go ahead and end this right now, man. We gonna go. I know this one of them things where this could be a 3-5 hour conversation.
Right.
But we not gonna do them like that tonight. For you tax and financials.
LLC, and I put the information up in the chat. No matter where you at, we can get at you. We can help you with your financials, help you in a business, start a business. If it's your first time hearing, me and Alan's connection, go back to, he saw me on Facebook, he placed a phone call. Since then, I have been helping Alan get his business straight, getting everything in order. We have filed this paperwork in the state of South Carolina. So no matter where you are, we can help you in your business with your taxes and your finances. So on the screen there in the chat, I did put up the 3 ways that you can get at me. If you're in the Kansas area, you can come by the office, or you can use us. We have a mobile app. You can use the mobile app to get at us, or you can schedule with us on our Calendly app. Catch me online, shoot me a message, PM me. My name is Robert Moore. You can get at us. We do all taxes, all businesses, all books. We use QuickBooks. We do QuickBook training. We use TaxSlayer books. So anything financial, I can do. Your logos as well, man. I got a logo generator, man. And my people, man, I'm cold with it.
That's what's up.
Black man that's cold with it.
That's what's up.
There ain't nothing I can do, and that's what they don't want us to know.
Right.
Once we set lines to it, we can do anything. Now, like I said, in my business, I do quite a few things because I don't want to be limited, and I want to be able to help anybody that walks through my door.
Right.
Whether they start a business or get your taxes straight. If you haven't filed taxes in several years, let's get those taxes straight.
Right.
There's nothing I can't do in my office, and I have been that way since I have been in business since 2012.
Right.
I help everybody that comes through my door, and if I can't, I know someone who can, and if I don't, I got resources.
Right. There you go.
And not too many people can walk into any office and get that kind of help and support.
No doubt. Well, we appreciate you being available today, brother.
Man, I appreciate you reaching out to me once again. We're gonna do this again next Monday. What we doing?
Somebody told me they was coming on that I've been trying to get on this motherfucker for a long time. And look,
are you gonna cut me out now?
No. I'm trying to make sure I'll let you know. Because I think they picked that Monday. If not, I think they picked the Friday show, and then we'll just run with that. But definitely, we're going to do this again.
Okay, I know we lose, man.
Exactly.
It's not good for me, man. Like I said, I'm Seventh-day Adventist for the world to know. So in the 24-hour period from sunset Friday to sunset Saturday, I reverence my Savior. No doubt. My Creator. I reverence Him at that time. So, I'm going to suggest to everybody, as I pray for you, pray for me. I pray that, every man, woman, boy, girl, under the sound of our voices, we pray that you learn something and you take this information and you use it to your advantage.
Exactly.
Don't just sit on it.
Exactly.
There's a wealth of information out there. And if you feel like you need to be doing something more than you're doing, even if you're a dope dealer, give me a call. Let's figure out something we can do. Dope dealers, strippers, dancers, if you got some money and you're trying to figure out something better to do with your life, then you need to give Robert a call. Area code 316-269-9132. I don't just help, man, I can show you how to turn your dope business into a business.
Hey, yo, get off my phone, man. Peace.
Peace.